Hey everyone, second week of retro game design. Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's doing really good. I hope you've had a go at coding between last week and this week, and as well as having some time to do Sean's animation yesterday. And with me today, sat in the corner, socially distanced from me, is Ian. If he wants to say hello.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Back again. I am super excited for this one. Mashing up levels.
Yep.
Yeah, so taking what you've learned last week and building on it and putting your character inside a level of your design. So just on that note, if this is your first week here, or if you're catching it up later on and you think, what are they on about? Then week number 1 is available for catch up on Facebook and on YouTube. So don't worry if this is like you're just thinking I'm already out of my depth, then do not panic. You can stop this now if you want. You can see what it's all about and catch up on the first one later, or it's right there now if you want to go and take a look at that. But actually stick around, watch this one, and then you can go back. So Paul, over to you.
Back over to me. So what I thought I'd do, just to give people an idea of what the game could look like in old Blue Peter fashion, here's one that I created earlier. So if Ian wants to show my screen. So I kind of I'm not going to spoil it. Let's see if anyone can get what I've gone for. Let's just refresh it to start it. So, this one really simply just trying to collect some rings, not coins.
That's a different game. Coins.
I killed myself. So, loads of different things that you can put in this. So I just put a quick basic that if you fall on lava, it kills you. And then this time, if I take my time and actually show you the end. Pressure's on now. I was doing this for fun before. So you can collect the rings, and then I just got that as my endpoint. High score as well. Woo! It's only me played it though, so it's not a great competition. So that's just a basic level that I've created with a start point and an endpoint and some rings to collect. So that's what we should be aiming for by the end of today. So I'll just get rid of that, and then I'll go to here. So if you were with us last week, I've not touched my code. I've left it exactly how we left last week, and this week we're gonna move a few things around, and we're gonna add our character to be able to move. We're also gonna add a tile map so we can have a level, and we're going to put a few other bits of coding in to finish up our level. So
Paul, shall I just jump in real quick? Just let everybody know, like you said, in case this is your first week and you're like, wow, that's like a lot of stuff that I don't know anything about, then what you're going to want to head over to is arcade.makecode.com, which is the free website that we're using to create all of these fantastic workshops with you. So if that doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before, then head over to arcade.makecode.com and it should look something a little bit like this once you've created a project.
So this is what the website will look like when you open it. So I've got all my projects that I've been working on here. So if you've not created one, click on new project, and then that'll take you through and take you to the coding part. If you have created one from last week, hopefully you should have it here, or you've saved the URL so you can go back to it and edit it. So I'm just going to go back into my code from last week. And what we're going to do first is move some of this coding out of the way. So if we go to game, and some people might have done this if you did the expansion pack with me, you will have already done this, but if not, we're going to get this on-game update, and this is from here in the purple section, and it's the top one, and it says on-game update. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this code in over here and put it on game update. And if you're using a Mac, I found a pretty cool shortcut. So I need to put this one bit of code back into on start. So if you're on a Mac, if you press command and then click on the one bit of code, it will take that one bit back. If you're using a Windows device, I'm not too sure if the Windows key, if you press that and click at the same time and drag across, I think that does the same thing, or it should do. So once we've put all that code in there, we just need to leave the on start set Linguini, which is your sprite, and your player, leave that one in there. And a few people said, well, we can't move our character. Well, that's the next bit of code we're going to add in. So I'm going to go to controller, and I'm going to get this first one that says move my sprite with buttons and then a plus sign. So I'm going to take that one in. I'm going to put that under this one. And as soon as I put it in, I get my warning to say that variable isn't there. So just click on it and I change that to Linguini. And then I'm going to click this plus button and it gives me two options. So this is how fast your character moves, in which direction. And we're going to change this end bubble to 0. And you might be saying, Paul, why are you changing that one to 0? Because that's jump. Okay. Last week we created our jump here. So we created an animation for it. So this here is our jump. So this is why we're changing this to 0. So this will allow your character to fall as well. So it'll create a bit of gravity in your game. So one other thing that we need to add in is for your character to have the camera following, because we're doing a platformer, so we're going to have your character moving across the screen, so we need the camera to follow your character so it doesn't look like he's going out of screen. So what you can do is in the search, if you wanted to save a bit of time, you can just type in, if I can spell, camera, done it again. It is there, the second one down. But also, if I delete that, it is under the scene. And if you scroll down, it's near the bottom. It's the fourth one up from the bottom, and it says camera follow sprite. So I'm just going to take this one in, put this one under here. And this one, we need to change to our character. So that is some of the stuff carrying on from last week, but this week is all about level design. So what we're going to put in is we're going to go to scene, and we're going to use this block here that says set tile map to, and it's got a blank square. So under scene, set tile map to, and it's a blank square. So we're going to drag this one in, and we're going to put this one to the top. And this is where we can then start to design our level, what our level might look like. So to do that, we tap on it, and then it just gives us a blank template, blank sheet of paper as such. But what we need to do is, that's just a square, and a platformer tends to be kind of long scrolling. So at the bottom, we've got two numbers. We've got 16 by 16. So that's the size of the square, and we're going to change this slightly. So in the first one, I've just tapped, it's at the bottom left hand side of the screen. I'm going to change this to 50, and then I'm going to change the second number to 20. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. So now, if I use the hand tool and move it, I've got a little bit of a rectangle shape. It's a bit longer. But these numbers, depending on how long you want your platform game to be, you can change it. So if you wanted it to be a little bit longer than 50, you might want it to be 70. And then you've got an even longer one. But I'm just going to go with 50 because it's a nice it's a nice size level. It's a nice size for your first level. So I'm going to leave it as 50. And I think I'm going to ask Ian, have we got any questions from people so far saying what they might be designing yet?
Not so much. I'll put that question out for everybody on. Yeah, we did. I asked in a poll, said, what type of level are you going to make? So I'll reopen that real quick. But overwhelmingly, the people that did respond on Facebook, it's adventure.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
So what we will do now is I'll close that one and we'll ask the next question. What was your favourite platformer game?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we'll open that, and that's just for you to type in and tell us. And if you're on a different platform like YouTube, then just in the comments, just let us know what was your favourite platformer game. Now, when we're asking about what your favourite is, not which one were you the best at, or not which one had the best characters. We're talking about the level now. Mm-hmm. When you were playing on it and you were just like, wow, or this is so hard, or this is so cool, or whatever it was that made you think, wow, what was your favourite level? So if you can tell us the game and try and explain what level it was, then we'll have a little chat about what everybody thinks a little bit later on. That'd be ace.
So what I was thinking is, because we've already mashed up a couple of characters, what I was thinking is you don't have to then decide to mash up 2 or 3 levels into one, which you can. You could just throw your mashed up character into a different world. So for example, I mashed up Link and Luigi. I might just put him in Sonic's world, for example. I might have taken those 2 together and put him in a different world. It doesn't necessarily, you have to then think, oh, I've got to mash up 2, 3 different levels into one. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So I'm going to show you a few tricks and tips on how to do that. So when it comes to level design, most of the tools here on the left hand side are the same. So we've still got our pencil, our eraser, the shape tool for a rectangle, the paint fill, the circle tool, being able to draw a straight line, your marquee tool for selecting and moving things, and your hand tool, so this allows you to move your canvas if you've zoomed in. And then there's some different ones here. So you've got a tile square, and then you've got this one here, which is the wall. So this is what we draw to allow our character to walk on or not go through, depending on what type of game you're designing. So we're going to be using this for our character to walk on. And then at the bottom here, we then have a selection of different types of areas that we can go to that decorate our game. So we can be in the dungeon if there's anything in there that you might want to use. Also, which is pretty cool, is My Tiles, where we tap on that and then we can design our own backgrounds and decorations. So I'm going to go through that with you as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the wall selected. I'm going to click on my pencil so I can physically draw. And you can see on my screen now I've got this red block. So I'm going to start here at the bottom. I'm just going to drag it along a little bit. I'm going to leave a bit of a space and just start to basically draw what my platform game could look like. And it doesn't have to look like mine. It could be anything you like. No guesses where mine could be set by what I'm actually drawing. Bonus points if anyone could have a kind of a guess of what it could look like, where I could be. So I'm leaving gaps in my level for jumps. So these could be filled with water, lava, whatever it might be, spikes, whatever you want from whatever game you want it to be. So I'm going to go back up do some steps for my finishing point. But you could also, if you want to, it doesn't necessarily have to be along the bottom. You can build up as well. So, oh, I don't want that one. So you could have something like this. Remembering to maybe have one square, because we've not put double jump in there or extended jumps, so if you then, for example, put a line all the way up here, your character will never be able to jump that. So think about when you're designing your level, is it achievable for your character? Can your character do that jump? Okay. If you do make a mistake, you can just click off the pencil to the rubber and make sure the wall is still selected, so the wall's still red, and then you can delete any walls that you've put in. So I could have this as a basic level. So designing this, I'm going to show you how to do some design your own tiles, okay, to give it that kind of custom mashup look. And to do this, make sure you've got your tiles section here selected. So when you automatically come into game tile map, it's always got the gallery selected. But if you go to my tiles at the side of it and click this plus button, it gives you another square that you can design like we did last week with the character design. I'm just going to quickly use the fill tool and go brown. I'm going to fill it brown, go back to my pencil, and then I'm going to design something like this. Can you tell where it is yet? That might go over a couple of people's heads, maybe showing my age. But just a really quick design of whatever it might be. Whether you want it to be lava, whether you want it to be... someone did say Rainbow Road before in the comments.
Yeah, do you want me to go through what some people have been suggesting while you're doing that, Paul?
Yeah, if you like.
Let's keep Paul's screen up at the same time so you can see. So, what was your favourite platformer game? Overwhelmingly, people are falling into two camps. Super Mario, but we don't know what level. People are just saying Super Mario. So in Super Mario, I'm thinking specifically about the third one. There was loads of levels in that. There was like the regular ones, and then there was the floating ones where the screen automatically moved and raised my anxiety levels through the roof. And then there was like sand levels, and then there was ones where you're in the castles, and then that's actually my answer. What the next question is going to be, what was the level you dreaded the most? And one of the Mario levels always used to, the music, the setting and everything used to just I used to hate it and love it all at the same time. We'll ask that question in a sec. And then we've got, seemingly in the Mako camp, Jack and Sean have both said Donkey Kong Country, and Jack has specifically said the water level in that. They were cool. Yeah, because all of a sudden you'd gone from just left and right where you could go like in all directions. And the power up, they had a power up animal, didn't they? In different levels, and that was the dolphin, and the dolphin went super fast. It was great, well cool. So yeah, and then over on YouTube we did have, when we asked what level are you going to make, we had an awesome answer from Faith, which was Rainbow Road. So that's, if anybody knows, in the comments, it wasn't a platformer, it was from something else, but I like the idea of mashing up from a like completely different game and putting it into a platformer. That would be really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Faith does. Hopefully you're going to show you how to send your games to us as well at the end of this workshop. So get busy making and then send it over to us, because we can't wait to see what games you mash together. How are you doing, Paul? Have you finished?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I've really quickly drawn a bit of land for my character to run across. So once you're happy with your design, if you press done, that then comes down here into your tiles. You can also do something a little bit like this. So if you wanted to create a hazard, I'm just going to show you really quickly how to do some lava. So I've just used the fill tool to fill the screen red. I'm then going to go to my eraser and I'm going to start to rub out the top bit. And I'm going to create some wavy kind of lava effect, hopefully. So with lava, we're going to put some orange dots around in here. I'm going to put some in here as well. And this is just to add some contact, some colours, and to actually make it look like fire. So when we see fire, it's not just always red. The flames are yellow, orange, blue if you're looking on your gas cooker.
Paul, could I just ask a question? I wonder whether other people are thinking it as well. So on the design for your land that you've got, which looks a lot like Minecraft, I don't think anybody put the answer in, but I think that's what it was like. It fills all of that square, doesn't it? So that when you start to paint with that and put it into your level, your character's going to walk on it, and that makes sense. But on this one, with the lava, what we've got, and I'll just make it bigger so everybody can see, is we've got these checkered tiles in the background, and that means that is see-through, correct?
Yep.
So it doesn't fill the whole square. Is that a good thing? Is that an okay thing? Just in case anybody else is thinking about the same thing.
Yeah, so that's it's a good thing. So it's a little bit
an okay thing.
It's an okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I've kind of rushed through it. I did take my time to create a proper looking wave effect with the lava, but I've kind of rushed through. So if I now press done, and you can sort of see it there. So I've got two tiles now. So if I click on the land and go back to my pencil, I can then start putting in my land on top of the wall where I want my character to be running. So I've gone like this, and I can start to fill it in, so it's got a little bit of design to it. It's got a little bit of depth. Okay. And the reason I've done the lava is I'm going to put the lava at the bottom in between the gaps. So I've got a little bit of a hazard, because at the moment, if my character, when I come to play my game, my character hasn't got any issues. If he falls down, he's just going to be stuck down there. So I'm just going to carry on doing my top of my land really quickly. So there we go. And now I'm going to put the lava. You could put it at the bottom here, so there's a bit of a fall. If you want it to be, let's rub this out. If you want it to be something like here, and then fill the bottom in red, that's fine. So it could be something like this, and then you've got another red block underneath it. All you'd have to do is maybe go here, back into your tile design like I did, and just make a plain red block, and then you can just fill in the gaps. So you could do something like this if you wanted to. And if you design a tile, and as you start pouring it in, you think, oh, I've made a mistake, I need to edit that tile. You don't need to delete it. If you select the one that you want to make a change to, so I've selected my lava, if I then click on this icon here, which is kind of a rectangle tool with a pencil, it allows you to go back in and edit it. So I'm going to get rid of my little blue line at the bottom to show where it, why has that gone white? There we go. So if I now press done, I've then got my lava pits. What I'm going to do now as well is I'm going to design one more tile, and this is just going to be a solid bit of soil with no grass on the top, just to fill in the gaps. So I just put, I've still got did that before as well. I'm not unselecting the fill tool. So the reason I'm putting some white blocks is just to add like a little bit of texture. Yeah, so it looks like stones that are in the soil or gravel or wherever it might be. So I've just thrown that in. So now I can throw this solid one underneath the grass. So you've got your grass on the top, and then the other ones is just a bit of soil to fill in the other gaps. What you can do as well, a little tip, I'll show you in a second, what I saw online, somebody else creating, was they took some of the soil away from the bottom, so it looked like the the land was crumbling away or had been melted away by lava and all that kind of stuff, which is a pretty cool kind of thing to do. So really quickly, I'll show you that. I'll just add another one, and it's exactly the same as when I did the Minecraft with the grass. Is if you go all brown and then go to the pencil, so you can put your grass on the top if you wanted it to be a floating grass one. So something like this. Do a little bit of green coming off it to look like grass. It could be something like that. And then using the rubber, you can rub out the bottom and make it look like it has been eroded away. Put some stones in there for a bit of texture as well. And then when we click off this, and we put it in, it kind of looks a little bit different from your others, and it kind of looks like it's been a bit of erosion on there. So you can then, if I like putting little different types of blocks in there, so I can then go over these ones that are floating, and it looks like the bottom of them has been eroded away. It's breaking, it's crumbling, all that kind of stuff. Different types of blocks, different kinds of textures to your game, and that's just a really quick basic level. So if once I'm happy with it, I can press done, and my game will update, and my character still just randomly appears in the top corner. Okay, so it looks like he's falling down, and he's there. He's finally on my level, but he's not falling down anywhere, so the lava should be there, and he just goes down the lava and nothing happens. So we've still got a little bit of coding left to do in there, but I've got a basic level. Could be happy with it. What do you think, Ian? Yeah, liking the design so far?
Loving the design. It seems a bit easy.
Yeah.
At the moment, but yeah, I'm joking with everybody. Kind of like how we left it off last week. I think some people, like Paul said, were saying it doesn't move or anything. We're taking you through step by step. So we're at a stage now where you kind of started the design, and now we're going to look at how we get the design to interact with the different bits that are on the level. So don't worry, it's not broken. we're getting you there. All right.
So what I'm going to do now, because we've had a look at my level, I'm kind of happy with the design. What I'm going to show you now, which is a pretty cool technique, is I'm going to go back into my tile maps. I'm going to click the plus button again, and I'm going to go for pink. I'm going to leave it pink and just fill the entire square pink and press done. And then this pink block is going to be where I want my character to start. So this is where we're going to say this is the start point in our coding. So I'm just going to put a pink block right at the start. So when we code, the game knows that this is going to be my start point. It doesn't have to be pink. It can be any colour you want. So if you want to help yourself out and maybe say red is the start, and green's the finish, or anything like that, those little tips help you. But I always just use a colour that I'm not going to be using a lot of, just to make it easier, so there's going to be no clashes in the code, there's going to be no issues with people saying the game saying, oh, it can't differentiate between a block that you've used before or anything like that. So I'm going to use a colour that I'm not going to use a lot of. And I've put that right at the start. Also, what I'm going to think about is what my end point is going to be at the end here. So you could design something. So you could create your own tile. You could go to gallery, and it might be that you want it to finish at a treasure chest and chuck that in at the end, or wherever your end might be. Your end might be up here, but only put one in. If you put multiple ones in, you're then going to be having issues with the code. So just choose one as you start and end point. So you can see I've only put one pink block in there, and I put one treasure chest. It doesn't necessarily have to be a treasure chest. It could be this like picture of the world, could be there, or you could design something. But there's some pretty cool already made and designed tiles that might be better. I'm just going to have a quick look, see what we've got. I'm going to see if there's anything pretty cool that might link to what I've already got. I think I might stay with the treasure chest.
There was some people in the comments making some good suggestions, saying that there's a lava auto block in the miscellaneous section. Paul knows that. I know that. But this is a level design tutorial, so depending on how much time you've got, they are there if you do want to kind of just put something in quickly. But we would try and encourage you to design your own and make it even better than the stuff that's already in there. So
yeah, there's pretty cool lava there, but when I looked at it, it kind of looks like you're looking down on it rather than from the side, so that's why I decided to design my own. But if you like that aspect, if you like that design where you stick it in, then it might go underneath your design. Feel free. This is your level, it's how you want it to look. But I kind of like the freedom of designing your own. I'm going to go for the open chest. Open treasure chest as my finishing point. And done. So now what we need to do is we need to put a bit of coding in there to say the pink block is our starting point. So what we need to do is we need to go to scene, and we're looking for a block that says place my sprite on top of a random, and then it's got a picture of a blank tile. So I'm going to drag that one in. I'm going to put that under here. And then we get that warning for this not having the right variable, saying my sprite. So what we do, tap on it, change that to your character. Mine's obviously Linguini. And then obviously it's throwing it in a random spot. But if we click at the end and then click it to the pink block that we've designed, he puts it right at the start, which is pretty cool. But now in my game, I've got one problem. I've got a pink block there, okay? And I don't want that pink block there because it kind of spoils my game. So I'm going to show you a little trick. If we go into loops, and we're going to use this one here, okay, for element value of list do. So we want this one here under loops, this one down here that says for element value of list do, and I'm going to put this one in, and what we're going to do is we're going to look for another block. It's under scene and it's called an array, and it's this one, array of all your blank square locations. So it's this one here, array of all to blank square locations, and I'm going to drop that one right into this where it says list. So I'm going to drop that into there. And then this box, I'm going to change to pink, so it knows that we're going to be doing something with this pink block. And what we're going to do is we're going to clear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to scene again. going to scroll down, and I'm going to take this one where it says set. It's got the clear box, and it says at tile map, column and row, 0, 0. So I'm going to take this one in and drop it in there. And then what I'm going to do, last bit, and it should work, is take this value bit where as soon as I put my cursor over it, a green plus button comes, and I'm going to drag that to replace the whole bit, not the zeros. I'm going to want the whole bubble. So my game updates, and ta-da, the pink block's gone, but my character still appears there. So that is some of our basic level design done. I'm just going to go over to Ian and see if anyone's got any questions that are cropping up from the stuff we've been doing so far.
Yeah, some people are saying that theirs isn't jumping, it's just falling. That's fine, isn't it?
At the moment, yes. So if I press up on mine, my character's just jumping.
Let me just do a split screen on what Paul is pressing and what his game looks like.
So if I press up, my character still goes up. Okay, and if I press jump, he just goes all the way up. Okay, but because we've not fixed all of that yet, so don't worry. I'm going to keep putting bits and bobs in to help us keep fixing little bits and problems like that, so don't worry just yet. That's up and coming. Is there anything else, Ian, or is that just the main problem at the moment?
Yeah, it's just kind of calming people down a little bit. Like we've said, it's you've not finished yet. We've still got more to show you, and it is like a process that we have to kind of do. So you're on the right track. Well done for following so far. What we're in the process of doing as well, so if you are, like I said, if this is new to you, or maybe you're a little bit rusty on what we did last week or whatever, remember you can catch up, you can do a refresh of week 1. Is available on demand on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can go back and you can pause it and rewind. This video will also be available at the end of this stream to do exactly the same. And what we will do is we will put Paul's finished code from last week on our website, and we'll put Paul's finished code from this week on our website. So you've kind of got these stages and lots of resources that you can go back to and refresh. I know it's live, and I know it kind of feels like you have to keep up, but you really, really don't. So don't panic if you're a little bit behind. I have asked how's everybody getting on, and there's some people saying okay, and there's some people saying struggling. We don't want you to struggle, or we don't want you to feel like you're struggling. Don't worry. Like I said, you can go back and refresh this and rewind it, and you will be able to get access to Paul's code. I'll show you how to do that right at the end. If that's okay. So yeah, Paul, back over to you.
Okay, cool. So next bit of code is, because we've got our finish point in there now as well, so what we need to do now is we need to put some code in here to say when we get to the treasure chest that we want our game to say that we have won. And I want to also show you, because it's going to be the same bit of code, to say if we touch the lava, it is game over. So in scene, I'm going to go down and scroll down till I find this one that says on sprite of kind player overlaps, and it's a square and it says at location. So it's this one here, and I'm going to drag this in to my code. I'm going to find a bit of space. Actually, let's go down a bit, and I'm going to put this in, and this one is leaving all the same, but then when we go to this bit here, which has got the square in it, the blank square, I'm going to put my lava in first. So this is going to say when my sprite touches the lava, something's going to happen. So I'm going to go into game, and I'm going to find, oh, gone past it, I always do that. It's this one that says game over. It's the third one down. It's this one here, game over, because that's what's going to happen if you touch the lava. It's going to go in. But you might, this is just my game, it might be that you give your players health. You might give them 3 lives, and if they touch the lava, they lose a life. So if you wanted that to happen, you can just go in here by saying change life by 1 and dropping that in if you wanted to. But I'm going to be mean, I'm going to say it's game over if you touch the lava. So I'm going to leave it at lose. But if I click this plus button, you can change the effect of how your character loses. Okay, so you can have plenty of different ways. I'm going to go for melt because lava's hot and I think you'd kind of melt if you got anywhere near it, or maybe dissolve. Depends what you want. Okay, if you have put a hazard in, this is a pretty cool one to put in there. And what I can do is, to save time, I'm just going to right click on this and I'm just going to duplicate it, and it'll fade out because we've got two that say lava. And I'm going to change this one to my open treasure chest. I'm going to tick this toggle to say from lose to win, and I'm going to change a different animation to say I've won. I'm going to go for smiles. No, confetti. You always go for ticker tape when you win something, don't you? So I'll just recap those again for people. I went to scene and I need this block here. On sprite of kind player overlaps is the square at a location, and I dragged that one in, and I went to game and I got game over and dragged that in and just duplicated it and changed these two squares. So what we can also do in level design, which is one of my favorite things, is have a couple of collectibles in there, and they can be anything you want, because if you think of all the classic old, well, I say old, the retro games that I used to play, you had coins, you had rings, gems, loads and loads of different things. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of steal the idea of this array here and have our collectibles appear at certain places. So if I go back to my design and I'm going to go to my tiles and I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to use a colour that hasn't been used yet, and I've not used orange, so I'm going to fill it as orange. And this is going to say wherever I put an orange tile, a collectible is going to appear. So I'm going to put some here and some here, a couple up here. So I'm just putting them randomly around wherever they might be. So these are going to be my places for my collectibles, wherever that might be, whatever you might want them to be. Like I say, there's some really cool ones out there that are rings, gems, whatever it might be. So I'm going to use this block again that says for element. Okay. If you did the expansion pack last week with myself, we already animated some of our collectibles, so you can just put your collectibles in if you still got your code from last week. So I'm going to go for this for element value and list, put that in here, just move this one out of the way, and in there I'm going to go to sprites, and I'm going to get this top one that says set my sprite of kind player and drop that in here. And this is where I'm going to have a collectible. So I'm going to make it, I'm going to rename that variable as, I'll just do something really quickly. I'm going to go rings. And what I'm going to do at the end, so say the rings, and then at the end here where it says player, I'm going to tap on there and I'm going to go add new kind, and I'm going to say it's a ring, just to make it easier for myself, and then tap to design something. So I'm really quickly going to just draw a ring. Something like that. Just make it a little bit thicker for us to be able to see it. But I think that's a very quick ring. Not my best work, but we'll see what that looks like.
Do you want to take a look at what some people's most dreaded game was?
Oh yeah, I've kind of just got sidetracked with designing my game and forgot we've asked questions.
You carry on if you want, Paul. I'll leave you up at the same time. So Jack, our very own Jack, said any Sonic level that had water, the drowning music was terrifying. He kind of did he slowly run out of oxygen when he was underwater?
Yeah.
And your health went down. Yeah, kind of like Minecraft a bit today, I guess. So that was one, and then Sean has also said Sonic underwater as well, and he's also added basically anything that requires stealth. So stealth isn't Sean's strong suit apparently. So what else have we got? We've got somebody else's suggest. We said somebody was going to do Rainbow Road before.
Yep.
That was definitely it was on Mario Kart, so it wasn't a platformer, but that was definitely one of those levels that was like got you going because there was no sides to the road and that kind of thing. So yeah, there was definitely certain levels that I dreaded like that. Mine was from Mario, and it was the Mario Brothers 3, and it was whenever you got to the boss levels, and it was all Bowser's children, wasn't it? And you had to board on the flying boats, space ships that they had, and the music, and it all went dark, and everything was floating, and the screen forced you along. Not like what Paul's done, where he's coded it where the camera follows you. The camera was going from left to right, and you had to kind of keep up, and it was all very tense, as a final level should be, shouldn't it? It should kind of like be amping up the tension. So yeah, if anybody's got any other suggestions, stick them in the comments below. And then we've also asked if anybody's just got any general questions for Paul or myself. So fill in that card that's up for Facebook users, and if you're on YouTube or anywhere else, just stick it in the comment and we'll try and get some answers to you towards the end of the stream. Should we go back to you, Paul? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So while I was just talking then, I've just finished my ring design. So I've got a very basic collectible ring, and what I need to do here in this 4 element is say where I want this ring to go, and we're going to use that array of all again. So we're going to go to scene, and I'm going to scroll down until I find array of all, the blank square and locations. So I'm going to drag this in, and I'm going to put it on top of the list part, and then I'm going to say on my orange block. So now my ring will appear once I finish on these orange blocks. So also within this code, I need to put some more in because it's going to be placed on top of there. So I'm going to go back to scene, I'm going to scroll down, and then I'm going to put this one in that says place my sprite on top of tile, on top of this one. Put that one in, and it's automatically changed to rings. And what I'm going to do is steal this value one from here again. So I'm going to go on this value one, drag, and I'm going to put it in that whole bit again. And now I have a ring on top of my orange squares. But again, I've still got that orange tile in the way. So looking back from before, I need this one, don't I? This set to clear the background. So I'm going to go to scene. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to have this one that says set and the clear bot and tile map. Oh, if I can get it to select it, there we go. And I'm going to place that one in there. and then I'm going to drag this value and put it in that whole bit again, make sure it's covering the whole bit, and then I've got my rings. So I've now got rings in all those locations that we've put an orange or whatever it is block that you've got. The only problem is I can't collect them. Nothing happens. So we need to put a last bit of code in to say when we go over those, we collect them. So I'm going to find I'm going to make a bit of space on my screen. And I've got to drag in another bit of code that says that when we overlap those bits of code, something happens. So I'm going to go to sprites and I'm going to scroll down until I find this one that says on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind player, and I'm going to drag this one in. And this is a bit of code to say what happens when you collect that coin, that ring, sorry. And what we need to say is the player overlaps, and I renamed mine to a ring. So I'll go to the end and see where it says ring, change that. And I'm going to say that it changes my score by 1. So I'm going to put in that. So it changes the score by 1. So now, just give that a quick refresh so it catches up. I collect it, and if I leave my character on, oh, look at that for a high score, it's just ticking up in the corner, look at that, should I just leave it? There we go. But we don't want that, okay? We want to be able to collect it once and then that disappears. So what we need to do is we need to go to sprites, and we are looking for a block that says destroy, and it is this one, destroy my sprite and a plus. So I'm going to take that one in, I'm going to put it above there, so it's straight underneath, and you can choose how long it takes to destroy and what effect it has to destroy. So I'm going to say, I like the disintegrate animation, so I'm going to chuck that in. So if I refresh now, see it's still counting up because it automatically thinks the rings are the right. So what I need to do is I need to steal, I know we've named it rings, but trust me, this will work. If I drag that and put that into there instead of rings, oh, and delete that out of the way, and then give it a refresh, disappears. So that's pretty cool animation. Whether you want it to be something else, the fire one's pretty cool, which I had on my other one. So if I refresh it, go across, kind of burns away. So it's up to you how you want it to do and how long you want it to last for. So just by changing them, by clicking on the plus, even going through them one at a time, seeing which is your favourite. Okay, and then changing how long it lasts for. Maybe you want it to last a little bit longer than 100 milliseconds. Maybe you want it to last for 500 milliseconds, so half a second. If I refresh, and it takes a little bit longer. Okay. Any good point to ask? Has there been any more questions, Ian?
Yeah, we have got some people asking about how they animate their collectibles, which I know that you covered in the expansion pack session. So we do have different sessions. We have these ones which are live, and as you can tell, we're trying to like cram a lot in and get you to kind of see as much as possible in a short amount of space. We can't, unfortunately, go through absolutely everything with you, and we do encourage you to take a minute and do some research yourself. There's loads of tutorials on the website on arcade.makecode.com, so you can kind of figure stuff out. The good news is pretty much if you can think it, you can do it, you can code it. So you're asking all the right questions. Just maybe need to go and do a little bit of research on how you can do that yourself. Or join us for our expansion pack sessions where you'll get to find out even more, and you can ask us questions face to face over Zoom as well. One question we've had, my character isn't going to its spawn, so if we could just maybe take a quick glimpse at that code real quick. That'll just be something quite simple, I'm guessing. And on that note, again, just to kind of go back over that, why have I cut away from me as I'm still talking? I don't know. We will put Paul's code on the website. Not that we want you to copy it, but it's great just in case you've missed anything in the stream, and you can kind of have Paul's code open on one tab and your code open on the other, and then it's just any little bits like that you can catch up. So again, please don't panic if you feel like you fell behind. There's plenty of opportunity to catch up. So if you aren't spawning in the right place, let's just
so this bit of code here, under camera follow my sprite, so the place and the variable, so your character, so mine's Linguini, you need to have that block in that says place Linguini on top of random. So that block is in scene, so you scroll down and it is that one, place on top of random. So if I drag that one back in again, put it in, so that's what it'd look like, and you can change that to your character and then change that to the color tile that you've put in. So let's just take that one out. So put that one in, remembering you need to have put that in your tile map, that color block. So if I go to my tile map, I've got my pink tile there because that's my spawn point, so make sure you've got it in. And you need this block of code to get rid of the pink background as well. So the for element value of is under loops, and is this one. So drag this one in. I'll remake one as well to show you. So if I drag that one in, just put it in my code for a minute, and this array bit, this last bit here, this array bit is under scene as well, and array of all locations, and I put that over the list bit, changed that to pink, and then this set one is under scene as well, and is this one set, and it's a black square of tile map column and row, and I put this one in the middle, and then I just dragged that value bit from the top of it to fill there. So that's how you have your character spawning at the right place. The common mistakes are people don't put the array bit in and then don't put the right color. So if I, for example, put in the globe, my Linguini isn't going to spawn there because I've not put a globe in there. So make sure it's the right tile map that you've got in there, and it will spawn. So just make sure these two bits of code are correct. So place Linguini on top of random, and you've chose the right block, and then for element value of it, and put your array in, and you clear your block, and that'll get rid of it.
You've got some code in there to make, because you've used a bright pink block that you said, because that's not something that you're going to use throughout your game, and you do intend on getting rid of it. But you could create a sprite that you leave in the game, couldn't you? Because that start point could be a door, so it looks like your character's just kind of started this level and they all come through, or a
that's
flag or anything like that. So
yeah, that's a good point. If you don't want your start point to disappear, if you don't have that bit of coding, it will stay there. So my pink block will stay there. So if I wanted it to be, as Ian said, a doorway or a portal or a flag or wherever it might be, don't have that code in. If you just want them to randomly appear like mine at the start and there's no specific start point, put that in. I just like my character starting kind of randomly there, but like I say, you can go crazy with what designs you have as your start point. could be anything. Like say, appearing at a flag or finishing at a flag, like in Mario. By all means, go crazy with the design points. Any other issues, Ian?
No, I don't think so. Somebody's saying finish the time map, but they haven't done the code. That is absolutely fine. If Paul showed you how to do the tile map, and remember this is a level design episode, and you've just gone and you've dove into your level design, that is awesome. You can rewind this and catch up with the coding bit later on. With the submission deadline for you to send your levels and games to us is going to be Monday. Yeah, let's go with Monday. So it's not fastest finger first. There's no rewards for people rushing this. You've got loads of time. Go away, design the best level that mashes things up with your character that you've got, and then send it to us by Monday so we can take a look at them before the stream. Have you got more, Paul?
I've got one more thing just to show. So obviously if you don't want your screen to be black, okay, your background, if you go into scene, some of you might have already done this, you can set your background as an image. So if you want to put something in there, if you want it just to be a colour, you can just go this one. So let's just do the colour one first. If I put that under my tile map, and then if I just wanted it to be blue, it'll update and it's blue. So it kind of looks a little bit like a sky. But a pretty cool one, which I like, is actually going back to scene and having an image. So I'm going to put a background image in there. Same as our tile map, if we tap on it, brings up a nice big area to design in. And if you go to gallery at the top, you've already got 2 preset ones. So if you, for example, if you chose a preset one, you can edit this at the side to make it look wherever you want. So if I, for example, just drew kind of a loop, and maybe a small loop over here, I could change it. I can make that a bit bigger. So I'm changing the pixel size in the top left hand corner there just to speed it up a little bit. Oh, if I go back to my pencil so I can draw, you can edit this so it kind of looks a little bit like a different level. Any takers on where it is? Just a really quick edit. Anyone have any ideas what level that could be? What character would maybe use them rings to maybe run around as a hint? So it could be something like that. So if I press done, that now will throw that into my background. Doesn't necessarily have to be rings and hoops in the background. It could be anything you want. So these designs could be anything. Okay, so I could undo all that if I wanted to, or I could just clear the screen by filling it back to being blank and redesign my entire background if I wanted to. Something that isn't actually a game that people might know. It might be something that you're mashing up completely from your own. It could be anything. It could be like putting some, like I've done Minecraft. I've done some Minecraft blocks, so I might want to design my background to look a little bit like Minecraft. Could be anything. Or it might be that you just like, I'm just getting rid of these so I can go back. It might be that you just like the ones that are already there, the preset ones. It might be that you like this one and you want to leave it looking something like that with a mixture of your blocks that you've designed. There's no right or wrong. It might be just whatever you want it to be. I'm going to kind of leave it like that for mine, I think, something different, because it's kind of Link. Well, Link always is in the woods, in the forests, and in Legend of Zelda, so I've got some trees in there for mine. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. So, like I say, this is level design. So that's us finished for today. We're still having a few issues with our characters. Don't worry. We're going to be fixing that next week on next week's show, where we'll be adding some more cool features to this code. So you see, each week we're focusing on a certain topic, and as we're going along, we are making changes to make it work. So last week our character didn't start in a place, we couldn't move him. Now we can move him, he starts in a place, we've got a level, and we are adding more and more code each week to fix little problems. So by the end of next week's live stream, you will have a fully functioning computer game, platformer. Any questions, Ian, for finishing off?
I think that's pretty spot on. Some people saying that nothing's happening when they go into the lava and that kind of thing.
Right.
That is fine, isn't it, at the moment?
I've chucked it in on mine, so is this...
just real quick then.
Yeah, it's real quick. So, if you've put lava in and you want your character to be injured or die from touching the lava, it's just this code here that says on sprite of kind player overlaps, and I've put the picture of my lava in, and it says at location, and then inside that I've put game over. So to find this block, if you go to scene, and this one here, on sprite of kind player overlaps, it's a blank square at the moment, and location, drag that in, and then if I tap on this bit here, I've then got my lava blocks. Okay, I'm just going to choose the red one for the time being, so it doesn't fade out. And then I went to game and put game over inside it. Okay, so that would be how to have your lava killing you. Like I say, if you wanted to go into here and change, not change score, sorry. You could change life by 1 and put that in there instead of game over. But then in your on start, you'd have to put in set life. You need that set life in there, so you get 3 lives, and if you touch the lava more than 3 times, then it's game over. Okay, so that's completely up to you. I kind of like having no lives and you've only got 1 chance, but that's just because I'm mean, I think. So if you're having issues with your lava or your hazards, whatever your hazards might be, they might not be lava, it might be water, whatever it is, that is just the block that you need to have on sprite of kind player overlaps whatever block it is you've designed or taken from the tile map, and then make sure you have that game over in there. Okay, because if you have win, as soon as it touches the lava, you'll be winning your game. But that's it. That's that. I will be posting this code live as well, so don't worry. If you're having any issues, you can just flick between the two, as Ian said before. Anything else? Or is that...
No. So you might be asking, where do I get Paul's code from, or how do I submit my game? When you're ready, there's no rush.
Yeah. Take your time.
When you've finished designing it, so I will show you that real quick now if you like. So all you need to do is go to the Mako Create website, which you can find at makocreate.co.uk, and go to our homepage and just click on the projects page at the top. And when that loads, that's the page where you'll be able to see everything that we've got going on at the moment or that's happened recently. Click on the retro video games mashup project. Shout out to Sean's animation one. If you didn't tune in yesterday, then that is there for you to take a look at, and we'll be live again next Monday with that. And then scroll down a little bit, and again, there's loads of information in here about what we're doing, when we're doing it, where we're doing it, who's it for, price free, yay! And then what you need to join in, and then underneath episode 1, you can catch up. I told you could catch up. I promise you. If you're new, then this is where you can go, or YouTube, and figure everything out from week 1. And then here it is. Check out Paul's code. So from week 1, you can click on that, and that'll take you to exactly where Paul left off last week. Whoops, I've done that the wrong way around. 1 second. You don't want to see me, you want to see the website. So click there, and then that will take you to a viewable and editable version of Paul's make code. And then this was the expansion pack that's already happened, but then we get down to week 2, and that's this stream that's happening right now. So I won't press play, but after this is finished, you can catch up with it right there, and there will be a lovely button down here somewhere that says look and edit at Paul's code. So when we finish, we'll make sure that that's on the website. So if you have missed anything from this live stream, you can review it, and you can click the link to download Paul's version that he's been working on right now. Just before we leave this website, we do have an expansion pack for this live stream right here, right now. Expansion pack 2, Secret Rooms. Ooh, exciting. So if you want to take what you've learned right now and you want to build on it and do something that's a little bit more advanced, a little bit cooler, then you can get tickets for an expansion pack right here through our website, and that will take you through to our Eventbrite, which if I think I have right here. So create.eventbrite.co.uk if you want to go straight to our Eventbrite page, or you can order them through the website like I just showed you right there. And it's £10 plus the booking fee, and that is your opportunity to speak to us, get some FaceTime. It's a Zoom thing. The tickets are limited, so it's a relatively small class, and you can ask us one-to-one questions. You can say, I'm a bit stuck, can you go over that again? And we can. We can't do that very well with a public live stream like this. We try to answer your questions, but those expansion packs are the place where you can get FaceTime with our tutors if you've got specific questions to ask. You might have also noticed that there was options to submit your games to us. So I just want to give a few people who've submitted their games from last week a quick shout out. Big massive thank you to Cameron, Jake Hill, Charlie Roberts, Timothy, Noah Alsop, Joseph and Jack Turner all submitted fantastic games to us. I say games, we were focusing on the character mashup, so we weren't expecting completed games from you. The way that we finished it, we were just looking at how you can mash characters together. So you were submitting a game, but we weren't really interested in whether it worked or not. We just wanted to see your designs. So with that in mind, special shout out to Jacob Myerscough, if I've said that right, who created this. Let's just have a quick look. So his game does actually work, but we weren't judging him on that at all, so you can left and right and move around. But his character, I don't know if you can see that, that's like the perfect kind of thing that we were after. It's a complete mashup of a few different characters. He's kind of managed to get the M on the hat, so that's obviously our beloved Mario, and then I think that's a sword from Minecraft, so that's really cool. And then I think we've got a bit of Sonic going on the bottom. I'm not 100% sure, but that is definitely a creation of his very own. So that is the perfect, like, we're getting you to think about, whoa, what could I put together? And that's exactly what we're asking you to do with today's session. So Paul has gone through how to create your own level. You've got a character that you've mashed together. Go and grab a level from a different game and stick them together and get your character to play on a level that they would never get to do in their own game. You're making your own game and mashing them up. So that is what we'll be focusing on this week. Not whether it works perfectly. We're going to be looking at the levels that you design. What collectibles are you going to put in? What dangers are you going to put in? That kind of thing. How are you going to design the levels like Paul did, floating ones and things? Is yours going to be in space, underwater, something made up? Whatever it is that you want to do, that is what we're keen on seeing. So if you want to submit your games to us, then what you need to do is go to our website, the same page on the project page, and you will see submit your mashed up hero it shouldn't be a mashed up hero, it should be a mashed up level for a
Yeah.
chance to get a shout out. So submit here, we'll change that in a sec. But that's on under episode 2, which is this one, and then you submit your game by clicking on that link and it takes you through to this form. Just ask for a few quick details. Maker's name, so the name of the young person or old person, we don't discriminate. Put the name of the person who's created the game in there, your age, your email address so we can contact you, and then the URL for your game. So just copy and paste that. Paul, can I cut back to you so they can see where they get the URL for the game from?
So once you're happy with it, remembering like everything that Ian's just said, it's not a finished game yet. We're doing it week by week, adding bits to it. So we're going to be looking at your level design and what artwork you've got in there and all that kind of stuff, not whether it's a finished game. So think about your artwork. Once you're happy with it, you're going to press this share button at the top. And you can give your game a title here. So I've just got it as Retro Mashup. You could probably think of much better titles for your games. So that goes in this top box here. And then when you're happy with it, you're going to hit that publish button at the bottom. And then that gives you your URL code. So I always say once you've published it, save that URL somewhere, copy and paste it somewhere that you can keep hold of it, and then you can keep going back to your game and editing it on the fly. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the same device. As long as you know that URL, you can edit it on other devices. You can share it with your friends, family, anyone that you want. Okay, so that URL right there is the most important bit that I've just highlighted here. Just click the copy button and then you can paste it wherever.
Excellent. So that's us, I think, for today. Like we said, we'll post Paul's code up on our website. Get busy thinking, designing. Maybe the thing that you've been working on right now isn't the thing that you actually want to submit. Go back and start again. Go, okay, I get it now. Now what I'm going to go away and do is think, and then I'm going to put a design together and send it to us a little bit later on. Just a quick shout out as usual. If you're watching us on Facebook, that's amazing, but we are also on YouTube, Mako Create UK, and for those of you on YouTube, we are on Facebook at Mako Create UK. If you can jump over there, like and subscribe or follow. If you've got spare 30 seconds, we'd love a Facebook review. If you can just say that you've enjoyed this workshop or any workshops that you've done with us, that would be amazing. And then we are also on Twitter at Mako Create UK and Instagram, where we have been posting these out on our IGTV as well. So you can catch up with stuff on Instagram as well at Mako Create UK. That is the hard sell done, I think. So that's it from me. If Paul, do you want to sign off?
Yeah, I'll sign off. Just a quick remember as well, if you have enjoyed this, Ian did mention before about the expansion pack, which is on Friday. We'll be covering some pretty cool coding in that, some details in that, where you get to ask me some questions. So if you are having issues, you can share your code with me and I can have a look at it there and then and answer any questions. So if that interests you, I'll see you on Friday. If not, I'll see you here next week. So have a good rest of your week and a good weekend, and I'll see you next week, guys. See ya.